I'd just like to thank Chris for mentioning other parts of the Bill of Rights, and particularly the First Amendment, which I'm just as concerned about as I am about the Second, and particularly the freedom of religion and conscience, things that the attacks that are going on that right now, particularly with Obamacare and other things as well. And I'm wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on anything that's being done on that stand.
Well, thank you. And indeed, there was a bill last Congress called the Conscience Act, and I was a co-sponsor of it. We continue to chip away. We've had some success. You know, you heard about the expansion of the IRS to enforce Obamacare. That got totally defunded. That is gone, and that's right. So we're continuing to stay focused on this, but I have to tell you, inasmuch as we've been able to get achievements to get some of these things accomplished, it's quite remarkable considering that we control 1/2 of 1/3 of the government. But we are focused, we understand your message, and we'll continue to work it. Let me say one last thing on this, that just as I talked about the unifying factor of the Bill of Rights, I want to also say to you that this is not a partisan issue. You've got friends here. But I want you to know that in my congressional district, we had Aileen Gunther, Democrat, voted no. We had Bill McGee, Democrat, voted no. Okay? So I just want to make that clear. This is not a partisan issue. This is an issue of freedom.
I want to speak to that issue of the Christian right. And about 4 years ago, there's a group called the New Yorkers for Constitutional Freedom. And they're a good group. They're statewide. Reverend Motley and his colleagues. And they have an event in Albany. And it's basically the same issue. It's the same community, same people. And they would say, Pete, you know, and this group here supports their positions. They say, Pete, we're going to pray for you. We're going to pray for you. And I'd say, folks, we'll take all the prayers we can get. Absolutely. But the bottom line is you've got to put those prayers into action. Because if you don't, your opposition will not rest until your voices are silenced. They will not rest. I tell you that now. And there's a hypocrisy in this whole discussion, because the group that wants these things to happen, to ban guns and all these things, say, we want you to hear our opinion, you need to hear our voice. But they don't want to hear your voice in return. They're not patient enough or willing enough. They will not rest until you're silent. So what's happened is that the New Yorkers for Constitutional Freedom established a PAC. They established a political action committee. They are now active with campaigns. They are now active with helping candidates. They are now actively lobbying on issues that matter to them. Because they know if they take a back seat, that they will lose their freedoms. You will lose your freedoms. And again, God bless you. This is our right. This is our birthright. This is our culture. But you can't take it for granted, because it will be taken away from you. We've heard people say that the price of freedom, and we hear this from our veterans and our wounded warriors, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. That means every day we have to be working to protect our freedoms. If we don't, they'll be taken away. So we have to be active politically as well as socially. And the constitutional freedom folks get it, because they establish and they're organized that way. We have to do the same thing on a statewide basis.
New Yorkers for Constitutional Freedom, if you're not involved in the group, take a look at them. When I ran for election, they were very helpful to me, and actually are coming out on this issue, if it already hasn't come out, on a position paper backing what we're doing. So this is a group who stands up and fights for religious freedoms and has a presence down at the legislature each and every day. They've hired a pastor who actually comes and visits all of us, has Bible classes on Tuesday, where we all should be, and is doing a tremendous job. But you know, one of the statistics that I heard, and there are many more men here than there are women, but what I have heard, and please take this home, that 50% of Christian women are registered to vote, and only 25% of us do. If we want our voices heard, we need to have Christian women standing up, registering, and voting. It's very, very important to where we're standing. Thank you.
You know,
as I was sitting here, one thing I want to say, if I ask for a show of hands right now, Democrats or Republicans, a bunch of hands are going to go up. How many progressives are in the room? I don't think there's one. So let me just be perfectly clear. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, the issue here is the progressive. You notice they don't call themselves liberals anymore. They moved on. They're progressives. When that banner was hanging at the State of the State, I got a chill. That is the issue. Make no mistake. It is a progressive war on traditional American values. And whether you are Republican or Democrat, you gotta pay attention to who you're sending in office. These progressives seek to destroy our way of life. No doubt. I don't sugarcoat it. I'll tell you exactly what it is. You hear the word progressive, run.